Morning, guys, and welcome to the Saturday Morning Podcast. It's been a wild and crazy week. We got a little news coming out of San Bernardino. The police officer went on a call. An armed man was shot and killed by a San Bernardino police officer on Thursday night. The deadly police shooting of 35-year-old Mark Matthew Bender Jr. sparked protests and civil unrest in San Bernardino, California on Friday. Yeah, buddy, them riots are back on. You know, guys, this guy was armed. He was jumping on people's cars. And the cop that pulled out his gun and asked him to stop. But let's get into the rest of the story. The officer was dispatched to the area at 11:16 p.m. in response to reports of a man jumping on vehicles in parking lots, according to the San Bernardino police sergeant. And the San Bernardino police released the 911 audio. I'm sure if you go online, you'll be able to hear it, in which the caller makes a complaint about a man who is really drunk and he's waving around a gun. So he had a gun. There's a man who's real drunk, jumping on the top of cars. He has a gun, and he's just going crazy, the caller told the police. Now, if he had a gun, then the cop probably had every right to defend himself. It just goes to show you that Black Lives Matter ain't just about black lives, the good, the ones that's not committing crime. They're about all black lives. They want to protect all felons. They don't think that the cops should arrest them or do anything to them because of what they've been through in America. I ain't sure how else you can explain it, but I'm sure the fake news will have something different to say, because that's just what they are. They're fake news.
You are fake news.
And I don't know, man. This mainstream media is trying to brainwash society into believing the stuff that spills out of their nasty mouths. Now, they are taking your eyes off. The media is. They're trying to take your eyes off of the facts. So we're going to get into the facts right now. Just bear with me, folks. We'll get there.
There's a man who's real drunk up here jumping on top of cars. He has a gun, and he's just going crazy, the caller told the police dispatcher. She described him as a black man with a white shirt and black shorts. San Bernardino police released body camera video, which shows the officer is in the parking lot approaching Bender, who fits the description of the 911 caller. The police officer pulls out his gun and points it at Bender. "Let me see your hands," the officer instructs Bender, who raises his hands briefly and then puts them back on his side. Bender continues to walk away from the officer and tells the cop, "Man, I'm going to the store." The officer puts his gun away and attempts to apprehend the suspect, who tells him, "Don't touch me." Cell phone video taken by a witness shows a police officer attempt to subdue a man outside the King Tut liquor store in San Bernardino. The police officer wrestles Bender to the ground and tells him, "Stop fighting, dude." During the confrontation, Bender is seen on video reaching for an item in his waistband that appears to be a handgun. Both men get up from the ground, and the officer draws his weapon and fires 4 shots at the suspect. The video ends as the officer collides with the bystander recording the video. Bender was taken to the hospital but died from his injuries. Content warning: graphic video.
You can go watch that video online. If you don't know where to go, I'll be back in here later with more. Right now, I'm just doing the podcast. But anyway, I'll show this video later on YouTube. If you're interested, you can go to my channel on YouTube. It's The Conservative View. If you haven't heard of it, go over there and give it a share and a like, and subscribe if you can. But anyway, this was happened last night in San Bernardino. And, well, the guy had a gun, but yet they still want to go right. So it's telling you, man, they don't care if the cops have a right to arm themselves or not. They're going to tear up these cities regardless. And it's a shame. It's a real shame that they're doing that. And there's nothing, and nobody's doing anything to stop it. That's my point. Nobody is doing anything to stop it. These Democrat-run states and cities are allowing it to happen. And that gets back to the point I've been making. If you are allowing this to happen in your cities and in your states, you're part of the problem. If you're not doing anything to stop this, to protect your citizens, you're at fault. You should be charged along with the Black Lives Matter members and Antifa. Don't forget them. And any of those snowflakes that are out there involved in it. It's a shame. It's a crying shame that they're allowing this to happen in those cities. But I feel like if Trump gets elected, it's going to get worse in these Democrat-run cities. And my advice to you people that are conservative or lean right a little bit, or even in the middle, or even a Democrat, and you don't want to be around this, I would flee these cities. I mean, I know a lot of you out there have a hard time getting around. That's fine. Stay in your house, stay safe, arm yourself if you have to. And I don't know, guys, it's going to get worse. I do know that. It's already been advertised that if Trump wins the election, there's going to be hangings and slicings. If you live in the Colorado area, stay safe. I don't know if they arrested that group or not up there, but there a while back he was on Twitter bragging about what he was going to do if Trump got in. And he said that if Biden got in office, it would be easier for them to get seats in the Capitol. That's what they want, folks. They want their own seats in the Capitol. They want to run your life just like the Democrat Party wants to. If it happens, I don't know. If Biden gets in there, it may happen. It may happen, guys. But we have to take precautions if we live in these places. And we got to arm ourselves, protect ourselves, stay off the streets when they're out there doing this crap. But if they bring that crap to your door, protect yourself, guys. Don't take it. You don't owe them anything. And you know, there's a lot of good people out there, great people that are Democrats that disagree with this stuff. But I have to warn you, most of your Democratic Party in office is for it because they think it helps their cause. They invented it. They think it makes Trump look bad, but it doesn't. It makes Trump look better because he's putting it down. He's bad-mouthing it. He says it shouldn't be happening. And he's right. This should not be happening in America or anywhere. People have the right to the freedom to vote whoever they want. And the Democrats are trying to make it to where we can't vote for who we want. You have to vote for them or they're coming down and tearing your houses and neighborhoods and burning your businesses. And it's a crying shame that these Democrats today are this evil. And if you think there's not evil in this world, all you have to do is look at Nancy Pelosi. She's the evilest, she's the queen of evil. Nasty woman. Nasty. You can't debate her on anything because she gets nasty. She's old. She's old. She needs to go to a nursing home because she's whacked out in the head. She claims to be a Catholic Christian. She ain't a Christian, folks. The only Christian she's got the Church of Devil on her side. And they're going to make it worse on everybody because if the Democrats get power, they're going to stack the Supreme Court. Then they're going to make it to where the popular vote counts. So what that means, guys, is they're going to do away with the electoral college. That means they're going to go with the popular vote. So if Biden had the popular vote and that's what we was going by, there'd be like 3 states to get Biden in office. California, New York, and another big state. Pick one, doesn't matter. And the rest of the country, their vote wouldn't matter. You see what I'm saying? That's why we have electoral college, to make it fair for each state. Each state has so many electoral college votes. And the popular vote of that state gets the electoral college. So that's why we have that, guys. That's the only fair way to do it. If you went by the popular vote, the rest of the states will be left out because 2 big states have more population than the rest of us. It only takes about 2 or 3 states for that to happen. But anyway, that's why we need to stand up for the Electoral College. And if you haven't, you need to contact your legislators of your state and tell them you want the Convention of States for term limits. Tell them you want that. Call them. Flood their phones. And if you haven't already, go to the website and sign a petition. It only takes a minute, guys. You can go over, sign a petition, and everything will be put in there, I hope. But you can go to the Conservative States website, sign a petition. You can find it on some of my YouTube posts. If you're over on YouTube, look up my post on term limit. Look them up. Go to those websites. Sign a petition. Call your legislator. Write them an email, whatever it is you can do, and tell them you want term limits. if you want real change in America, and I'm talking to you snowflakes out there too, if you want real change, you need to vote term limits, because these career politicians are not going to give you change. They make you promise after promise after promise. When they get back in office, same old thing. And you vote these people in office time after time after time. And you wonder why nothing gets done. These people ain't for you, they're for themselves. They want to enrich themselves. If you haven't heard about the video of Nancy Pelosi eating her $15 a quart ice cream in her $24,000 refrigerator, she's got 2 of them, and then you tell me how she affords to live in that mansion and have several other houses around on a salary of a politician, of a congresswoman. These people are getting rich off of you guys. That's as plain and simple as it. They give so much money to your district. Each district, they have a allotment of money, and it's to go to help out to help the homeless, to help the poor, create better living for the homeless, and that type of stuff. They're not using it for what it's appointed to. They're using it for themselves. They enrich themselves off of that. That money's not going to the public where it should be going. It's going to these crooked politicians that live in your states, your districts. They pocket that money. And on top of that, they get money for lobbyists to not do anything, keep everything the same, because that helps them. And I thought Trump was supposed to outlaw the lobbyists for 5 years. But I guess not. I guess it didn't go through because these crooked ass Democrats want to keep getting rich off you. You know what they say about the dollar. You know what they say about it. Money is the root of all evil. And if you would look at the people that have the money, they're all evil. If you haven't heard about the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers or George Soros, these guys are evil. They're the ones that start all these wars around the world so they can get rich off of it. Because they have ties to the military-industrial complex. And if there's no wars around, they're not making no money. If there's no riots around, they're not making no money. So, therefore, they have to create chaos in these cities. And then, because I want to tell you, the Rothschilds own the biggest bank in the world. The World Bank is their honeypot. And anytime there's a war or chaos, all these loans go through them. And they got continuous interest coming off of those loans. And that's what I'm saying, they're getting rich off the taxpayer. You're not in, and then they like, well, we're helping you. You ain't helping nobody. You ain't helping nobody. You're causing this strife. You're causing this divide. You're causing wars around the world just so you can get rich. And if you think that these Democratic politicians ain't in on this stuff with the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and whoever else, George Soros, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. They fund this Democratic Party illegally, so they push the agenda for them. That's why they get into office, by lying to you every year. And sometimes these people probably shouldn't be in office, if you want to know the truth. They're crooked. If you're running against them, be careful, because they're crooked. They get ways to get you out of run. They threaten you, or they have you threatened. And then they usually drop out of the race. Because these Democrats are that evil. And if you don't believe that, then you need to read up on their behind the scenes act. Because that's all it is an act. They don't care about you guys. You got to stop thinking that and realize that if you want somebody in office that's really going to care about the homeless and the poor and the needy, and you listeners out there, you're going to have to get term limits. That's all there is to it. But, you know, that's up to, they got so many states in there now. We need 32 states. I think we got half of that now, maybe a little less. Excuse me. But you can go on the website and look at the states that are shaded are the ones that's for term limits. But they're still pushing for more, and they need more. And you can get this done. Guys, in 2 minutes, you can get your petition signed, whatever it takes to start the process in your state. I'm sure there's enough of you out there that can handle that and get it done. But this stuff with Black Lives Matter, always right, and even if the cop's in the right, that just shows you it's not about just Black Lives Matter. It's about policing altogether. They don't want it. They don't want to be policed. Only if they need them. See what I'm saying? If they call the cops, that's fine. Somebody else calls the cops on someone of theirs. No, that ain't working. They'll come and riot and tear down your damn city. Those crazy sumbitches, I tell you. I'm going to see if there's any more here. Hold on a second.
Video. A loaded 9mm handgun was recovered at the scene, Echeverria said. The gun was not registered. The suspect was large in size and was able to physically overpower the officer, Echeverria said. The suspect retrieved a weapon from his pocket and was turning to face the officer. At that time, an officer-involved shooting occurred. The officer saw the weapon, and during the struggle, was able to disengage during that fight for control of that suspect, and was able to back away and protect himself by discharging his weapon, Echeverria added. Bender had a criminal history going back 17 years, Echeverria said, with arrests for allegations of attempted murder, false imprisonment, domestic violence, theft and possession of narcotics, Call TV reported. Protests calling for justice in the death of Bender erupted outside the King Tut liquor store on Friday. What I can do is tear down the system that lifts up crackers with badges and gives them power to be judge, jury, and executioner, one demonstrator told the crowd. Social media posts show demonstrators shouting, "Abolish the police! Defund the police, and F the police!" The protest spilled out into the streets, where protesters blocked an intersection. Video appears to show a man assaulting a person driving a car slowly through the intersection. Another man keys the vehicle, according to investigative reporter Drew Hernandez. Another car is reportedly keyed as it drives through the intersection, which causes protesters to cheer and clap. Exclusive video.
You guys can go. I'll bring that video to you here in a little bit. I'll be over on YouTube sometime today. But yeah, this guy was armed. He had an illegal weapon that wasn't registered. And these protesters are out there saying they want to get rid of crackers with badges. And you know, that's racist. I don't care. If these thugs want to call everybody else racist for stupid stuff, why can't we call them racist for that? You know? I mean, that protester said, what I can do is tear down the system that lifts up crackers with badges and gives them the power to be judge, jury, executioner. So then they want to go out there and yell racial slurs, but yet they call everybody else racist. I don't understand it. They want to abolish the police. They're chanting defund the effing police. You know, and they're keying cars as they drive by and cheering. Guys, we got to do something. Well, we don't. Your state representatives do. And they need to stop pandering to this leftist terrorist group, Black Lives Matter. And that's all they are, is they're a terrorist group. And what I mean by terrorist group, and this is the definition of it, somebody who terrorizes citizens and the population. That's terrorist. They're doing terroristic acts, and they need to be prosecuted as such. Them and Antifa and those snowflakes that are involved in this. And also the governors and mayors of these cities and states ought to be charged as terrorists or supporting terrorists, because that's what they do. They support them. They cheer them on. They go out and march with them. There was no divide. And they try to blame this divide on races, on Trump. It's not Trump, guys. It ain't Trump. It was Barack Obama who started this. That's when these riots first started. The ones in Charlotte, North Carolina. Some of them there was a few other places. I can't remember them all. But I'll bring them to you on the next podcast Saturday morning. But anyway, these people, they say there's no structure in the Black Lives Matter or Antifa. It's just an idea. There is structure. There's a higher up, then you got the soldiers. Same way with Antifa. There's so many groups of them, but they're all connected. It's all one organization. They're violent. They're young. They're in their 20s up to 30. They're snowflakes that have had their minds ruined with the leftist agenda in your schools, in your colleges. And they've got that beat down in them so many years now, since high school, that they think they're entitled to everything for free. And if they can't get it freely, if they can't get it to them freely, they'll take it. They'll destroy the cities to get it. They want to conquer every city and command it. They want to rule you. They want you on your knee. And guys, I don't know about you, but I only get on my knee for one person. And that's God above, and that's all I get on my knee for. But this Black Lives Matter group thinks that if you're white, and you have this white, so-called white privilege, which is a farce. It's just a myth, and there's no such thing as white privilege. But you owe them your home, your money, your car, whatever you have, they want you to give it to them because of the way they've been treated over the years. How have you been treated over the years there, snowflakes? That's all they are, is snowflakes. Because you had to pay, because you have to pay for your college, because you have to pay for medical care, for insurance. What is it? What are you fighting for? Because slavery ended hundreds of years ago. You definitely weren't enslaved. If you feel like you're suppressed, that's your fault. You can go out and get a job, but you act like you don't want to get a job. You want to go tear down people's businesses, steal and loot, and then burn it down because you're owed whatever they have. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You should be arrested. You should be put in jail for the rest of your lives. And I don't know why your government, your Democratic-run government in your towns, cities, states, won't step in and do just that. They won't allow our President Trump to do his job. And then they want to blame him for everything. Blame him for everything. He even got blamed for Governor Whitmer of Michigan's attempted kidnapping. Now, how in the heck is that Trump's fault, woman? They just want you out of office is all. Those good people of your state want you out of office because of what you did. You killed all those people in those nursing homes. You put gang members in there and other people with COVID in there with the elderly, knowing they would get sick. Guys, these people just want population control. You know, this is how it is. If you're elderly and you're in one of those nursing homes, it costs money. Well, yeah, it costs money. And these governors don't like that. And these state representatives on the Democrat side, just the Democrats now, they want population control because they're part of the cabal. If you ever went to Georgia and seen that Georgia stone down there, they had like the commandments on it. And it's all part of the cabal, deep state and all this. They only want 500 million people on Earth. 500 million. You know how many people they would have to kill off to get that? They would have to kill the whole United States and Canada combined. And there would probably still be some left over. You know, they don't have to do all of America and half of Canada, and they would get it. Maybe 3/4 of Canada. And they have that Agenda 21, which has changed now to Agenda 2030. And they want to try to control population. If you haven't read the UN's Agenda 2030, go read it. It's the new agenda. And they want a population control. They want to depopulate because there's too many people, they think. And if there's too many people, it takes away from their pocket. So they want to destroy the population. It's evil. It's sadistic. They're Satanists, guys. They're Satanists. They're deep state Satanists. And if you haven't seen that, you need to read your Bible and then come back and listen to it because they're Satanists. They worship the devil. They're pedophiles. And there's another thing you can go look up too about Hollywood and the Democrats, how Hollywood supports the Democrats because the Democrats hide their pedophilia. The Pizzagate thing, where they tried to push, it's real. Where they tried to shove it underneath the rug, it's real. It's real, and it's happening, and these people are sick. Ask your representatives why they're pushing so hard for late-term abortion. Ask them. It's disgusting what they want to do. It's disgusting what they do, not what they want to do, what they do. Y'all need to pay attention to what's going on with these abortions. And I don't know if you ever heard the story with Keanu Reeves. If you haven't, he's a good guy. He was bringing this stuff up and then he got blacklisted. But if you ever heard his story, you know what I'm talking about here. I don't want to say it on here because right now I'm live and yeah, I don't want to say it. But I will bring it to you. I will bring it to you if I can find it, if they haven't taken it off. But yeah, he was blacklisted from Hollywood for saying something, for blowing the whistle. And it all got shoved under the rug, forgot about. And you know, the authorities, I think some of them know about it, and they just can't say anything because in fear of their life. And I'm not an authority, and I don't fear for my life. I protect my life. And I'm not afraid of these goons on the left. I'm not afraid of these deep state actors. I'm not afraid of this cabal or whoever else it is. I ain't afraid of none of that. That stuff don't bother me. What bothers me is killing babies for your agenda, for purposes that you don't want people to know about. You're sick. You're demented. And you need to be stopped. And yes, I'm talking to you, you politicians. And yes, I'm talking to you, you Hollywood actors. You pedophiles. All of you are pedophiles. But anyway, guys, that's about all I have for now. I'll be back at 4 with some more on the podcast if you want to join me. If not, I'll share it over to YouTube. Anyway, God bless. I hope you have a great day. Be blessed in Jesus' name.
Did the